Captain Elara Reeves stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderstrike, Earth's most advanced warship, watching the stars stretch and blur as they exited FTL. At 45, with salt and pepper hair cut in a practical military style and scars that told the story of humanity's difficult journey to the stars, Reeves commanded respect without demanding it. The Thunderstrike represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity, a vessel constructed not just with Earth technology, but with the harsh lessons learned from evolving on what the galactic community called a death world. FTL transition complete, Captain, announced Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his fingers dancing across the neural interface of his navigation station. We've arrived at the edge of the Mylar system. Reeves nodded, her gray eyes fixed on the holographic display that materialized before her. Status report. All systems nominal, reported Commander Diana Chen, Reeves's second-in-command, standing beside the captain. Chen's posture remained military perfect, but her eyes betrayed concern. Stealth systems engaged in holding. We're running silent as ordered. And the signal? Reeves asked. Communications Officer Priya Sharma swiveled in her chair. Still transmitting, Captain. The distress beacon hasn't wavered since we first detected it 3 days ago. It's definitely coming from the fourth planet. She hesitated before adding. It's using an old mathematical sequence as a carrier wave. Prime numbers followed by the universal gravitation constant. Classic, we're in trouble protocol. The Nalari, Reeves murmured. The name had been unfamiliar to the entire crew until Admiral Costa had briefed them a week ago. A peaceful, technologically advanced species that had only recently begun exploring beyond their home system. They hadn't even joined the Galactic Conclave yet, that sprawling bureaucratic alliance of over 30 spacefaring species that governed most of explored space. Tactical assessment, Reeves ordered. Lieutenant Wei, the Thunderstrike's tactical officer, grimaced as he studied his console. 5 vessels in orbit around the fourth planet, Captain. Configuration matches Phoraxian Empire warships. An uneasy silence fell over the bridge. The Phoraxian Empire, an expansionist regime with a philosophy that might made right. They weren't part of the Conclave. In fact, they were the reason many species had joined the Conclave in the first place, seeking protection against Phoraxian aggression. What are Phoraxian ships doing in an unaligned system? Chen wondered aloud, echoing everyone's thoughts. Nothing good, Reeves replied grimly. Magnify the planet. The holographic display zoomed in, revealing a beautiful blue-green world, not unlike Earth, with 3 small moons. Scattered across the northern continent were several dark scars, impact craters or weapons discharge sites, still smoking. Life signs? Reeves asked. Science Officer Dr. Maya Patel looked up from her station, her face grim. Millions on the planet, Captain, but readings indicate widespread distress. Elevated radiation levels in several population centers. The signature matches Phoraxian plasma bombardment. Reeves's jaw tightened. They're being invaded. Captain, Sharma interrupted. I'm getting a direct transmission from the surface. They've somehow detected us despite our stealth systems and are hailing us specifically. On screen, Reeves ordered. The central display flickered, resolving into the image of a slender, humanoid figure. The being had silvery blue skin that seemed to shimmer with a subtle bioluminescence. Large, compound eyes dominated a delicate face framed by what appeared to be crystalline filaments instead of hair. Despite the alien appearance, the emotion in those eyes was unmistakably one of desperate hope. Greetings, vessel from Earth. The being spoke in perfect English, shocking everyone on the bridge. I am Elder Thelios of the Nylari Collective. We have little time. The Phoraxians will detect this transmission soon. I'm Captain Elara Reeves of the United Earth ship Thunderstrike, Reeves replied, recovering quickly. How do you know we're from Earth, and how are you speaking our language? A sad smile crossed the alien's face. We have been monitoring your transmissions for some time. Your species interests us greatly. Evolved on a high-gravity world with extreme climate variations and dangerous predators. Yet instead of becoming conquerors, you developed cooperation and compassion as your primary survival traits. Most fascinating. Reeves exchanged glances with Chen. Earth had only achieved FTL travel 15 years ago. The idea that an alien species had been studying them was unsettling. "We need your help, Captain Reeves," Philios continued urgently. "The Voraxians came without warning 3 weeks ago. They demanded access to our biotechnology, and when we refused..." The alien's voice faltered. "They attacked," Reeves finished for him. "Yes, our defensive capabilities were insufficient. We are scientists and explorers, not warriors. The Voraxian Empire seeks our symbiotic enhancement crystals, biological technology that can exponentially improve technological efficiency when properly integrated. They are rounding up our scientists and harvesting our crystal forests." Lieutenant Wei leaned toward Reeves. "Captain, we should contact Earth Command before getting involved. The Conclave has strict non-interference protocols for conflicts between non-member species." "The Conclave knows," Philios said, evidently having overheard. "We sent distress signals weeks ago. Their representatives expressed deep concern and promised to debate the matter at their next assembly. Meanwhile, my people die." Reeves felt a familiar anger rising within her. The same fury she'd experienced during Earth's brutal first contact with the Drex Raiders 7 years ago. Political expediency at the cost of innocent lives. "Elder Philios," she said carefully, "the Thunderstrike is a powerful vessel, but we're only one ship. The Voraxian Empire has hundreds." "We do not ask you to fight our war, Captain," Philios replied. "Only to help evacuate our leading scientists and their families, about 200 individuals. They carry knowledge that must not fall into Voraxian hands. With them safe, our people can rebuild someday." Before Reeves could respond, Lieutenant Sharma called out, "Captain, the Voraxian vessels are changing orbit. They've detected the transmission." "Elder Philios, send us your coordinates," Reeves ordered. "We're coming in." Relief washed over the alien's features. "Thank you, Captain. I am transmitting now." The connection abruptly terminated. "Captain," Chen said quietly, "we don't have authorization for this intervention." Reeves turned to her executive officer. "No, we don't. But I'll be damned if we sit here and watch another species be enslaved because the Conclave can't get their act together." She raised her voice to address the entire bridge. "Battle stations. All hands prepare for combat operations." As the klaxon sounded throughout the ship, Chen stepped closer. "The Conclave will view this as a major diplomatic incident." "Then they should have responded to the distress call," Reeves countered. "Navigation, plot a direct course to the provided coordinates. Tactical, I want a full assessment of those Voraxian vessels. Communications, prepare a message buoy with all the information we have. If this goes sideways, Earth needs to know what happened." As the crew sprang into action, Reeves returned her gaze to the viewscreen showing the beleaguered planet. In the 15 years since humanity had joined the galactic community, they'd discovered that despite advances in technology, the fundamental problems of politics, power, and exploitation remained depressingly universal. "Captain," Wei called out, "incoming transmission from the Lid Voraxian vessel." "On screen," Reeves ordered, straightening her uniform. The holographic display shifted to reveal a massive reptilian figure. Gray scales covered a face dominated by 4 yellow eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. When it spoke, rows of serrated teeth flashed behind thin lips. "Earth vessel," the creature hissed, "this is Commander Vorzath of the glorious Voraxian Empire. You have intruded upon Imperial business. Depart immediately or be destroyed." Reeves met the alien's gaze steadily. "This is Captain Ilara Reeves of the UES Thunderstrike. We responded to a distress call from the Nylari, as is our obligation under interstellar law." "Interstellar law." Vorzath let out a sound that might have been laughter. "You primitives are new to the stars. Let me educate you. There is no law beyond the reach of one's weapons. The Nylari possess resources vital to Imperial interests. Their reluctance to share makes them enemies of progress. From where I'm standing, bombarding civilian populations looks less like progress and more like genocide, Reeves replied coldly. Vorzath's upper eyes narrowed. Strong words from a representative of a species that nearly destroyed its own planet multiple times. We've studied your history, human. Your kind is in no position to judge. Perhaps that's exactly why we're in a position to judge, Reeves countered. We learned from our mistakes. Here's how this will work. We're evacuating Nylari civilians from the coordinates we've been provided. You will not interfere. The Voraxian commander's scales darkened with what Reeves assumed was anger. You have no authority here. The Conclave has already acknowledged this as an internal matter outside their jurisdiction. I'm not representing the Conclave, Reeves said. I'm representing humanity. And humans don't stand by while innocents are slaughtered. Then you will share their fate, Vorzath snarled before terminating the transmission. The Voraxian vessels are powering weapons and adjusting course to intercept, Wei reported, his voice steady despite the tension. Reeves took her command chair, feeling the weight of responsibility, not just for her crew, but potentially for Earth's standing in the galactic community. Options, she asked. We can still withdraw, Captain, Chen suggested. Document what we've seen and bring it to the Conclave with Earth's full diplomatic weight. While the Nylari continue to die, Dr. Paddle said quietly from her station. We can outrun them, Jackson offered from navigation. The Thunderstrike's engines outclass anything the Voraxians have. Reeves shook her head. And leave the Nylari to their fate. No. She tapped a command into her chair's interface. This is why the Thunderstrike was built with its unique capabilities. Lieutenant Wei, deploy countermeasures and prepare firing solutions. Commander Chen, ready the dropships. I want Marine teams prepared for ground extraction of those scientists. Dr. Patel, I need everything you can tell me about Nylari physiology in case we need emergency medical intervention. As the bridge erupted into focused activity, Reeves felt a familiar calm settle over her, the clarity that came with commitment to action. They call Earth a death world, she said quietly to Chen. They expected us to be savages. They never considered that surviving on a planet like ours required something more powerful than strength or aggression. What's that, Captain? Chen asked. Reeves's eyes hardened as she watched the Voraxian ships growing larger on the view screen. Empathy, Commander. The understanding that we're stronger together than alone. And the unshakable commitment to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. She raised her voice. All hands, prepare for combat maneuvers. We're going in. The UES Thunderstrike surged forward, a single human ship against 5 Voraxian warships. The odds were poor, but humanity had faced poor odds since climbing down from the trees on the dangerous savanna of ancient Africa. Poor odds were their specialty. The battle for Nylar IV had begun. The UES Thunderstrike shuddered as another Voraxian energy blast glanced off its shields. On the bridge, Captain Ilara Reeves gripped her command chair, analyzing the tactical display with practiced calm despite the chaos around her. Shields at 63%, reported Lieutenant Wei, his voice remarkably steady. Voraxian cruisers are attempting to box us in. Evasive pattern Delta 7, Reeves ordered. Lieutenant Jackson used the 4th moon's gravity well to slingshot us behind our formation. Aye, Captain, Jackson replied, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. The Thunderstrike responded instantly, diving toward the small moon at a velocity that would have torn lesser ships apart. Commander Chen watched the maneuver with barely concealed amazement. 3 weeks of intensive combat training with Captain Reeves hadn't fully prepared her for seeing the woman in actual combat, while the Voraxians followed conventional military doctrine. Overwhelming force applied directly. Reeves fought like Earth's ancient guerrilla fighters, using every environmental advantage and refusing to engage on expected terms. Marine extraction team reports they've reached the surface. Communications Officer Sharman announced. Commander Rodriguez signals they're moving toward the Nylari coordinates. Reeves nodded. Keep the channel open. Dr. Patel, what's the status of our special preparations? The science officer looked up from her station. Integration protocols complete, Captain. The system is ready when you are. Excellent. Reeves turned her attention back to the battle. Lieutenant Wei, target the lead Voraxian vessel's propulsion systems. Focused beam, minimal dispersion. Target locked. Wei confirmed. Fire. The Thunderstrike's main cannon discharge, sending a blindingly bright beam of concentrated energy toward the Voraxian flagship. The beam struck with surgical precision, bypassing the vessel's shields through a fluctuation pattern Wei had identified during the first exchange of fire. Direct hit, Wei announced as the enemy ship's engines flickered and died. Their propulsion is offline. 1 down, 4 to go, Reeves said. Maintain evasive maneuvers. We only need to keep them occupied until... Captain, Sharma interrupted urgently. I'm detecting multiple FTL signatures at the system's edge. 7. No, 9 Voraxian warships incoming. A tense silence fell over the bridge. 9 additional warships made their odds effectively impossible. Time to arrival, Reeves asked quietly. 8 minutes at current velocity, Sharma replied. Chen moved closer to Reeves's chair. Captain, we need to extract our people and withdraw immediately. Agreed. Reeves opened a channel. Commander Rodriguez, status report. The gruff voice of the Marine commander came through with the sounds of weapons fire in the background. We've secured 43 Nylari scientists and their families, Captain, but Elder Thelios insists we need to reach their central crystal repository. Says it's the real reason the Voraxians are here. Estimated time. 20 minutes, minimum. There's heavy resistance. Reeves calculated quickly. You have 10, Commander. After that, we'll be thoroughly outgunned. Understood. Rodriguez out. As the communication ended, the ship rocked violently from a direct hit. Shields at 47%, Wei called out. They're coordinating their fire patterns now. Captain, Dr. Patel said quietly, perhaps it's time. Reeves nodded grimly. Indeed it is. Commander Chen, you have the bridge. I'll be in the integration chamber. Chen's eyes widened. Captain, regulations strictly prohibit the commanding officer from participating in experimental procedures during active combat. Yes. Reeves finished for her, noted and logged. The bridge is yours, Commander. Before Chen could protest further, Reeves strode to the lift. As the doors closed behind her, she allowed herself a moment of doubt. What they were about to attempt had never been tested in actual combat conditions. But then again, humans had survived on Earth by taking calculated risks when necessary. 5 minutes later, Reeves lay on a modified medical bed in the ship's secure integration chamber. Dr. Karim, the Thunderstrike's chief medical officer, worked efficiently to attach neural interface nodes to her temples and the base of her skull. This is still experimental technology, Captain, Karim warned, not for the first time. The neural load could be significant. So is extinction, Dr. Reeves replied calmly. Are the Nylari enhancement crystals integrated with the system? Dr. Karim nodded reluctantly. Yes. Elder Thelios provided the integration protocols before we left orbit. But we've never combined human neural interface technology with alien biological components before. Today's full of firsts, Reeves said dryly. Initiate the sequence. Karim typed a final command into his tablet. Integration commencing. Good luck, Captain. The world around Reeves dissolved into a cascade of light and information. For a moment, disorientation threatened to overwhelm her. Then her military training asserted itself, bringing order to the chaos. She was everywhere and nowhere. Her consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her physical body, merged with the Thunderstrike itself. She could feel the ship's systems as extensions of her own body, the shields like skin, the sensors like eyes and ears, the weapons like clenched fists. More than that, She could sense the Nylari enhancement crystals working, amplifying her connection, making the integration deeper and more intuitive than any human-designed system could achieve. Captain. Chen's voice came not through her ears, but directly into her consciousness. Can you hear me? Perfectly, Commander, Reeves replied, her thoughts transmitted directly to the bridge. I have full system integration, transferring tactical control to my direct neural interface now. On the bridge, the crew watched in amazement as the tactical displays flared with new information, firing solutions, evasive maneuvers, and shield modulations, all appearing faster than the ship's computers alone could calculate. The Thunderstrike suddenly moved with uncanny precision, as if anticipating the Voraxian attacks before they happened. When it returned fire, each shot found vulnerabilities that moments ago had been invisible. My God, Y whispered. She's processing combat data faster than our tactical systems. In the neural interface, Reeves felt a strange presence, alien yet somehow familiar. The Nylari crystals were not merely amplifiers. They retained something of their original consciousness, working symbiotically with her own mind. We fight together, came a thought that was not hers. Human determination, Nylari insight, a powerful combination. A new clarity came to Reeves. She could see patterns in the Voraxian fleet movements, weaknesses in their formation that conventional sensors would never detect. The ship responded to her thoughts instantly, executing complex maneuvers that would have been impossible to coordinate through verbal commands. 2 more Voraxian vessels disabled, Chen reported, watching the tactical display with growing hope. Captain, whatever you're doing, it's working. The reinforcements, Reeves asked through the neural link. 4 minutes out, Sharma replied. Rodriguez, status. We've secured the crystal repository, Captain, the Marine commander responded, sounding winded. 86 Nylari now under our protection. Ready for extraction on your mark. Initiate immediate evacuation. All dropships return to the Thunderstrike. We're leaving in exactly 3 minutes and 40 seconds. As the Marine teams began their withdrawal, Reeves turned the Thunderstrike's full attention to the remaining Voraxian vessels. Through the neural interface, she executed a series of maneuvers that left 2 more enemy ships with critical systems failures. The surviving Voraxian vessel, Commander Vorzath's flagship, suddenly changed tactics, accelerating directly toward the Thunderstrike on a collision course. They're attempting to ram us, Reeves noted calmly through the neural link. Predictable. At the last possible moment, the Thunderstrike pivoted with impossible grace, allowing the Voraxian ship to hurtle past. As it did, Reeves fired the ship's point defense weapons with surgical precision, targeting the enemy vessel's bridge. The Voraxian flagship's forward section erupted in a contained explosion, its momentum carrying it into a decaying orbit around the planet. All dropships have returned, Captain, Sharma reported. Marine teams and Nylari refugees are aboard. Voraxian reinforcements entering weapons range in 30 seconds, Wei added. Plot an FTL jump course away from Earth, Reeves instructed through the neural link. We don't want to lead them home. Execute jump as soon as all personnel are secure. As the Thunderstrike prepared to depart, a transmission cut through their communications. Commander Vorzath's face appeared on the main screen, bloodied but alive. This isn't over, human, the Voraxian snarled. The Empire does not forget. We will find your homeworld. We will. Transmission terminated, Reeves thought, cutting him off mid-thread. We've heard that one before. The Thunderstrike leaked into FTL, just as the Voraxian reinforcements opened fire, their energy weapons passing harmlessly through the space where the Earth vessel had been moments before. In the integration chamber, Dr. Karim carefully disconnected Captain Reeves from the neural interface. She blinked slowly as her consciousness returned fully to her body, feeling suddenly confined after experiencing existence as a starship. How long was I integrated? She asked, her voice hoarse. 27 minutes, Karim replied, checking her vital signs. Longer than any test subject in the program's history. How do you feel? Reeves sat up slowly. Like I've run a marathon, but functional. When she arrived on the bridge 10 minutes later, the crew stood at attention. Commander Chen stepped forward. The Nilari are settled in Cargo Bay 3, which we've converted to temporary quarters, she reported. Elder Philios has requested to speak with you when you're available. Reeves nodded. And our status? FTL systems functioning normally. We've plotted a circuitous route back to Earth space to ensure we're not followed. No signs of pursuit so far. Casualties. 3 Marines wounded, none critically. No fatalities. Reeves felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Well done, all of you. Lieutenant Sharma, prepare a full report for Earth Command. They'll need to know what we've discovered about the Phoraxians and about our new allies. In Cargo Bay 3, Elder Thelios waited with several other Nilari. Their crystalline hair filaments glowed softly in the dimmed lighting that had been adjusted to their comfort. Captain Reeves. Thelios greeted her, performing a graceful gesture that involved touching his forehead with interlaced fingers. We owe you and your crew a debt that cannot be measured. You owe us nothing, Reeves replied. We did what any decent people would do. Yet so many decent people did nothing, another Nilari observed. The Conclave ignored our pleas. The Conclave operates by consensus, Reeves said diplomatically. Sometimes that process is too slow for crisis. Thelios gestured to a young Nilari who stepped forward holding a small container. Inside was a cluster of glowing crystals, pulsing with inner light. These are our purest enhancement crystals, Thelios explained. Grown over centuries in our sacred groves. We offer them freely to Earth, along with the knowledge of how to cultivate them. What we experience today, your mind working in harmony with our technology, represents something unprecedented. A true symbiosis, Reeves agreed. But this gift, it's too valuable. Precisely why it must be shared, Thelios insisted. The Phoraxians sought to take by force what must only be given freely. We believe your people understand this distinction. Later, in her private quarters, Reeves recorded her personal log while nursing a cup of coffee. First Contact Situation Report, Supplemental. In rescuing the Nilari, we may have initiated humanity's first interstellar conflict. The Phoraxian Empire is unlikely to forgive our interference, and their technological capabilities exceed our own in many areas. However, we've also gained a powerful ally. The Nilari symbiotic enhancement technology, when combined with human neural interfaces, creates capabilities that neither species could achieve alone. She paused, watching the stars streak by in the small viewport beside her desk. The Conclave Council has already contacted Earth, expressing grave concern over our unilateral action. Apparently, several member species are now questioning why humanity was granted observer status at all, given our reckless predisposition toward violence. Reeves smiled slightly. They still don't understand. Yes, Earth is a death world that forged us into survivors. But what truly defines humanity isn't our capacity for violence. It's our refusal to accept injustice when we have the power to oppose it. She took a sip of her coffee before continuing. Admiral Costa tells me that 6 more Earth vessels are being outfitted with Nilari enhancement crystals, creating the foundation for a joint defensive force. Meanwhile, the Conclave has finally dispatched investigators to Nilar IV, though I doubt they'll find much the Phoraxians had already destroyed or removed. A soft chime indicated an incoming message. It was from Elder Thelios. Captain, our scientists have analyzed your ship's records of the neural integration. What you achieved should have been impossible for a first attempt. Your adaptive neural plasticity exceeded all theoretical models. It seems humans possess unique capabilities that complement our technology in ways we never imagined. We would like to propose a formal alliance between our peoples, not merely for defense against the Phoraxians, but for mutual advancement. Reeves smiled. Perhaps this was humanity's true role in the galaxy. Not conquerors, not saviors, but partners. Bridge builders between different ways of thinking. Their death world origins had taught them to adapt, to find solutions where others saw only problems. Computer, reply to Elder Thelios. The people of Earth would be honored to forge such an alliance. Together, we can show the galaxy what cooperation between different species can accomplish. As she sent the message, Reeves contemplated the stars beyond her viewport. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as newcomers, viewed with suspicion and even fear by the established powers. The Viraxians had made a critical mistake. They had assumed that a species from a death world would understand only the language of violence. They had failed to grasp that surviving on such a world had required humans to develop not just strength and resilience, but empathy and cooperation. And now the galaxy would learn what happened when that empathy was matched with determination. The Viraxians had wanted war. What they would get instead was something far more dangerous to their empire. An idea. The idea that different species could stand together against oppression. That diversity could be a source of strength rather than division. And if that idea spread, the old order of the galaxy would never be the same again.